Hello everyone, welcome to Liam's Library. Well, it's very stormy outside today. Wild weather warning out there. It's all dark and raining and shit. So, as the Nostalgia Critic says, it's Stephen King time. Before you watch any further on this review, please, spoilers, heavy spoilers. This movie just came out. I pre-ordered this book. I mean, you can get it now at the bookstores, but I pre-ordered it. Stephen King, If It Bleeds. It's his latest book. It's in the tradition of like different seasons, Full Dark, No Stars, and 4 Past Midnight. So there's 4 short novellas in there. And they're actually quite short this time. A lot shorter than 4 Past Midnight stories. And the book is called If It Bleeds. Now, I was thinking of doing a review on just the book as a whole. You know what I mean? Just to talk about each individual stories quickly in one review. But I think it deserves a bit more time than that. So, just like I did with the 4 Past Midnight review, I did Secret Window, Secret Garden on its own, The Langoliers on its own, and Library Policeman on its own. Of course, I never got around to doing The Sundog yet, but I will. So with this, I've been looking online. I'm friends with a lot of Stephen King pages online. And I've noticed a lot of people didn't like this book. A lot of Stephen King constant readers, literally, they say, oh, book was shit, or this is crap. It's like, well, I wouldn't go that far. In fact, I really enjoyed it. I loved 2 of the stories in it. I really enjoyed another story, and I thought the other one was pretty good. So, I'm going to review all of them individually, but just not in a row. So, today I'm just going to do my favourite one. The first story in this book is called Mr. Harrigan's Phone. Really cool story. Second one is called The Life of Chuck. The third one is called If It Bleeds, which is actually a sequel to The Outsider, his 2017 book, and a HBO TV series. And the last story is just called Rat. Now, my favourite story in this isn't If It Bleeds, the sequel to Outsider. That is actually my least favourite story in the book. Didn't like the ending, but we'll talk about that when it's time for If It Bleeds. But for now, we're going to talk about The Life of Chuck. Now, I thought The Life of Chuck was awesome. I read it third. So I didn't read this book in order. I read Mr. Harrigan's Phone, then I jumped to If It Bleeds, and then I went back to The Life of Chuck. And I had a great time with The Life of Chuck. It's told in a really unconventional way, where it's 3 chapters, or 3 acts, if you will. And it starts with Act 3, then it goes to Act 2, and it ends with Act 1. I've never seen Stephen King really write a story completely backwards, but this one is completely backwards. And like I said, spoilers. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. So this book just come out. If you'd rather read the book, if you don't want to watch my review, like if you don't want to know what happens, don't watch my review, man. Go out and get the book. It's probably at your local bookstore, Dimick's, Angus & Robertson's, whatever. Get it online. Amazon. I think I got mine from Amazon. Read the book. But if you've read it and you'd like to argue with me on whether this book is good or not, yeah, please watch my review, because I think The Life of Chuck is phenomenal. I think it's fantastic. It's like, I'll just give you the gist. It's a man named Chuck, and we all exist inside of Chuck's head. He's not really God or anything, but like the book sort of touches on the subject of what if all this is completely fake? Not fake, but just in the mind of one person. So like this person, Chuck, he's lived his life, he's an old fella, he's dying of some disease, and everything every person, every place, every state he's ever visited, every person he's ever thought of, every TV show he's ever thought of, anything that's ever existed in Chuck's mind, now that Chuck is dying, we're all disappearing. So like there's a bit in this that really scares me. And because like I said, it's told backwards. So like the conclusion is at the start of the book. In the middle, it's kind of interesting. The middle's kind of a bit boring. And the start, you realize what's going on. The start is all about Chuck. Well, the start is the end, if you know what I mean. Like irreversible style. But there's this scene in this book, man, where this husband and wife, they're holding hands and they're looking up at the stars. The internet stopped working. That night, all electricity has just stopped because, like I said, Chuck's dying. So everything's just falling apart. The world is ending. Sinkholes are opening up all over America. California, literally the entire state of California has just fallen into the ocean and there's nothing left. Everybody's dying, animals are dying, people are dying, earthquakes all over the place. Like 6 earthquakes in LA in a month, something ridiculous like that. And there's this bit where like, you know, this husband's going to see his ex-wife because literally the book's saying, well, shit, the world is ending. There's no denying the world is ending. I'm going to go be with my ex. Like, they're still friends. So he does it on foot because all our cars are all jammed up in traffic jams and there's sinkholes swallowing cars in the middle of the road. And so walking is safer. And he decides to go visit his ex-wife. And when he does, like, all of a sudden, like, it starts to become nighttime. And all of a sudden, every single window in America all of a sudden lights up with a picture of Chuck. Nobody knows who the fuck this Chuck is. There's a plane going past that's a skywriter that says, you know, like, congratulations, Chuck. So many years, you know, like, we thank you. So, like, Chuck's almost like God, like I said, but he's not. He's just Chuck. It's just the life of Chuck. But this bit that's really cool, right? So, like, your character, this husband guy, I forget his name, but he's like my favorite part in the book. He's like, he knows the world is ending. The world is ending, excuse me, no doubt about it. So he wants to go be with his wife. And they stand there, the electricity goes out, the internet's long gone, and they're looking up at the stars as night falls. And they're looking at all the constellations. And all of a sudden, Mars disappears. Cassiopeia disappears. And the constellations just vanish and there are no more stars in the sky. And his wife grabs his hand and she's like, I'm scared. And he's like, oh my God, I am too. And that's the end of this first act. And you're just like, what the fuck is going on? That scared the shit out of me. Could you imagine just standing there, looking out into the cosmos, and then the cosmos just disappears? Like, that was really cool. So, to me, just the imagery of that made it the best story in the book. So, yeah, and that's all I'm going to say, because that's all there really is to say. It's not a really long story. So, like I said, if you ignored my spoiler alert and you watched it and you pissed off at me, too bad, because I gave you plenty of notice. But, man, what a great read. Life of Chuck. I don't think it would make a good movie. I don't think any of these would. You know, you can make a Stephen King movie out of a Stephen King short story. I don't think any of these would, especially not The Life of Chuck. It's a great read. It's a cool mystery, even though I've just blown the mystery, sorry. But fuck, yeah. If you didn't like this, I'd like to know why. I'd like to know why. Please leave it in the comments why you didn't like it. Stay tuned next week. I can't wait. I've been reading Stephen King. You all think that Stephen King is my favourite author, right? He's not. And if you know me very well, you might think Peter Straub is my favourite author, but he's not. My favourite author is John D. MacDonald. He started writing in the 50s. He died in the 80s. He's written over 70 novels, and I've never reviewed any of his books, so I can't wait. On Tuesday, I will be reviewing All These Condemned by John D. MacDonald. I'm reading it right now, and it's fucking amazing, and I can't wait. And then after that, I've got a little Stephen King treat for you as well. So yeah, like I said, please run out and get this book. It's a great read. I don't care what any of the constant readers think. If they think it's fucking terrible, I think they're wrong. And tune in next week. Make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. And please read some great books, watch some even better fucking movies, and look after one another. Bye.